They say Lagos men are not romantic. Until I met the mechanic who touched me. And not just my car. I was stranded on 3rd Mainland Bridge. Wig sweating, car dead, frustration loading. Then he walked in. Arms strong, smile lazy. Fingers that knew exactly where to press. And when he fixed the engine, he looked me in the eye and said, "Sometimes, your car just needs the kind of attention its owner's been missing." I should have driven away. But that touch, it started something I couldn't stop.
I didn't plan to break down that morning. I mean, who does? Nobody wakes up thinking, today, I will embarrass myself on 3rd Mainland Bridge in front of impatient Lagosians and hawkers selling gala like their lives depend on it. But that's Lagos for you. One moment you're vibing to Ira Star in your air-conditioned Corolla. Next moment, the car starts coughing like it just inhaled Lagos dust. Before I could even curse properly, the engine died with a small hiss. Dead. Just like that. I sat there, stunned. Nails freshly done, wig laid, lip gloss popping. I was heading to a soft live brunch in Lekki. The invite said, no African time. But African problems didn't get the memo. I turned the ignition again. Nothing. 3rd Mainland isn't a place to be stranded as a fine girl. The kind of place where Okada men slow down to offer help with their teeth. So I did what any Lagos babe would do. I locked the door, brought out my phone, and texted the group chat. Babes, I don't know what just happened. My car just died. I think the devil is trying me this morning. 5 minutes later, no reply. 10 minutes, still nothing. Even Uche, the friend that borrows my bags, had the nerve to blue-tick me. I sighed and stepped out of the car to raise the bonnet, pretending like I understood engines. I only knew 2 things about cars: how to start it, and how to drive it. Everything else? That's why we have mechanics. Just then, a grey downfall slowed beside me. "Fine, madam. You dey okay?" the conductor asked, chewing gum and staring too long at my thighs. I waved him off, embarrassed. Sweat already forming under my silk top. This wasn't how my Saturday was supposed to start. And then he came, not in a knight's armor, but in greasy navy blue overalls, holding a spanner like it was a magic wand. He strolled from under the bridge, wiping his hands on a red rag, eyes scanning the car before he even reached me. His arms were strong, that kind of strength that comes from years of work, not gym selfies. Face rough, with small tribal marks that made him look like a character from an old Nollywood film. But his smile, it was dangerous. Slow, unbothered, like he knew something I didn't. "You opened the bonnet well," he said calmly, "but what exactly are you looking for inside?" I folded my arms and raised one brow. "Are you trying to insult me or fix my car?" He chuckled and pointed to my hands. "Your nails say, Spa Day. Your bonnet says, help me. Which one should I listen to?" I wanted to be annoyed, but the way he said it, like a joke, not with pride shaming either. Just that typical Lagos mechanic confidence, mixed with street wisdom. "My name is Kunle," he said, reaching for the engine. "You can be mad at me later." But let me check if the problem is small before last man comes to tow your beauty away. I stepped aside. Something about the way he leaned over the engine made me pause. His hands were sure, firm, no wasted movement. He didn't grope or fumble. Just smooth, quick touches, like he was listening to the car, not just fixing it. Battery cable is loose, he muttered, tightening something. Your baby here just needed attention. Maybe she's like her owner. I laughed before I could stop myself. You sound like you flirt for a living. Kunle looked at me and smiled again. That same lazy smile that crawled under my skin. No, I just know when a woman and her car both feel ignored. I blinked. He looked back at the car like he didn't just drop a subtle bomb. Within 2 minutes, he told me to try again. I turned the key. The engine purred to life like a well-fed cat. Just like that. I should charge you for heartbreak prevention, he joked, wiping sweat from his forehead. I looked at him properly this time. His overalls were dusty, but his energy was clean, unbothered, like someone who wasn't rushing to be liked, but already liked himself. Okay, how much? I asked, reaching for my purse. Kunle raised his hand. Leave it. First rescue is free. But next time, call me before your car decides to disgrace you. Then he brought out a laminated card from his pocket. No logo. Just his name, number, and a short line written in red. I don't just fix cars. I understand them. I shook my head and smiled. You should be on TikTok. Maybe, he shrugged. But I prefer real-life engines, and real-life women who say thank you without pride. That one touched me. Not because I didn't have pride, but because something about Kunle made me feel seen. Not as the soft-life babe with brunch plans, but like someone he recognized, even without filters. That night, I saved his number under mechanic, touch specialist. Not because I was planning anything, just as backup. But Lagos has a way of playing with backup plans. Because 3 days later, my car started humming again. Not breaking down, just humming weirdly like it had secrets. I didn't trust it. I didn't trust Lagos either. So I texted Kunle, "Hey, I think my car is trying to gossip again." Available? He replied almost instantly. Always. Location? I dropped my estate address. 30 minutes later, the gate called. One Kunle mechanic day outside. He say NA you invite him. Make we allow? I told them yes, and watched him enter, wearing cleaner overalls this time. Still rough, still rugged, but now I was seeing details I hadn't noticed before. The way he walked like he owned air. The calm way he bent beside the car, like nothing rushed him in this life. Lagos was always rushing, but Kunle, no. He was slow on purpose. He checked the engine, fixed a minor belt issue, then turned to me. You're lucky. It's not serious. I smiled. You always say that. How do I know you're not lying to impress me? He stepped closer, close enough for me to smell the faint scent of petrol and citrus soap. I don't lie to women who know what they want, he said quietly. Who says I know what I want? He didn't reply immediately. Instead, he walked around to the driver's side and opened the door for me. Enter. Let's go for a small test drive. I want to be sure your engine isn't hiding secrets. I laughed. Is that your mechanic way of asking me out? Kunle tilted his head. No. If I was asking you out, I'd say, can I take you out for suya and small gist after we test this ride? Silence. Then I smiled. Okay then. Start the engine. The car moved slowly through the estate, humming like it had been waiting for this second chance. Turn left, Kunle said, pointing. Where are we going? I asked, pretending to check the rearview mirror, just to avoid his eyes. There's a quiet stretch down the road. No bumps. I want to listen to your engine properly. I raised a brow. That's what all the boys say. He chuckled. Yeah, but most boys can't tell the difference between brake pads and baby wipes. I couldn't help the laugh that slipped. He was funny without trying, and calm in a way that unnerved me. The windows were half down, and the breeze carried the smell of palm trees, wet sand, and distant plantain frying somewhere. Tell me something, he said after a while. What do you do when you're not getting stranded on bridges? Marketing, I replied. Digital campaigns. Influencer strategy. Basically, I help brands look rich and famous. Ah, so you sell dreams? Excuse you. I turned, about to playfully attack, but he was already grinning. I'm joking, he said. But it fits you. How? You look like someone who understands soft life, but didn't grow up with it. Like you built your own class. That one hit deeper than I expected. Why would you say that? I asked, genuinely curious. Because real soft girls don't panic when the car breaks down. They call their daddy's driver or Uber Black. But you opened your bonnet. That's someone who had to hustle somewhere along the way. I blinked. No one had ever said it like that. People usually just assume things. Kunle, he observed. You're not like other mechanics, I said, staring into the turn. And you're not like other Lekki babes, he replied. We drove in silence for a few more minutes. That kind of silence that isn't empty, just full of things you're both afraid to say out loud. When we parked again, he turned fully in his seat and faced me. Your car is fine, he said. But I'm not sure you are. I frowned. Excuse me? You're dressed fine. Makeup clean. Hair laid. But your laugh sounds like someone who's tired of performing. That silence returned. This time heavier. He looked at me gently. You don't have to explain. Lagos forces all of us to wear masks. Even me. But sometimes, you need someone who sees through it. I swallowed hard. His words felt like fingers running gently down my spine. What if I don't want to be seen? He didn't smile. Just leaned back and said, then I'll pretend not to notice. Until you're ready. I turned away. My chest felt tight in that confusing, frustrating, dangerously good way. Like standing in front of a mirror and finally seeing yourself properly. Suddenly, I needed air. I should go, I said. I have a Zoom call in an hour. He nodded. Of course. I pulled over by the estate gate. He opened the door, stepped out, and before closing it, leaned in slightly. Thanks for the ride, he said. No, thank you. He gave a small salute with 2 fingers and walked off. I didn't realize I'd been holding my breath until the gate shut behind him. That night, I didn't sleep early. His voice kept replaying in my mind. That slow, unhurried tone. That subtle Lagos confidence that wasn't loud, just present. Around 1 a.m., I picked up my phone. I opened WhatsApp. Me, thanks again for today. You're full of unexpected surprises. He replied in less than a minute. Kunle, that's how I tune engines and conversations. I smiled like a teenager with a crush. Me, do you always talk like that? Kunle, only when I feel someone is worth the spark plugs. That made me laugh out loud. Me, okay, that one was smooth. Kunle, let me take you for suya this weekend. Not mechanic talk, just gist. I paused. Was this wise? But then again, what was wisdom in Lagos, if not choosing peace in a city that chooses violence? Me, fine, but I picked the spot. Kunle, deal, but I picked the suya. I chose a spot in Yaba, because it was neutral territory. Not too mainland to scare me, not too Lekki to intimidate him. The suya joint was the kind where the plastic chairs wobbled a bit, but the pepper was honest and the meat didn't lie. I wore jeans and a cropped tee. No makeup, just lip gloss and mascara. I told myself I was dressing casual, but I'd changed outfits twice. Kunle showed up in a clean black polo and jeans. No overalls, no grease. Just his smile and that slow, confident walk like Lagos traffic doesn't apply to him. You look different, I said as he sat. You too, he replied, eyes scanning me in a way that made my stomach flutter. I was beginning to think he didn't come out without ring lights. Abeg, I rolled my eyes. Sometimes light needs rest. He laughed. That real kind of laugh. Deep and warm. Not performative. Not pressed. The suya came wrapped in old newspaper. The kind that added its own flavor. We ate with fingers, wiping oil on tissue and laughing about everything, from Danfo drivers to our worst date stories. Then Kunle leaned forward, wiping pepper from his lip. What's your worst heartbreak? He asked. I paused, surprised. He wasn't asking like a man looking for gossip. He was asking like someone who'd also bled before. I sighed. Second year in Unilag. Thought I'd found husband material. Turned out he was also material for 2 other girls in biochemistry. Omo. Yup. He used to take us all to the same buka, just different times. One day, we clashed there like episode of Super Story. Kunle shook his head. Men are mad. Some of you more than others. I won't argue. Then he looked down, fiddled with a toothpick. My own was when I fixed a girl's car for 3 months, free. Because I liked her. Then one day, she drove the same car to our wedding. Not to me, to someone else. Wet, what? True. The car even broke down at the reception. Her husband was calling me while they were cutting cake. I burst out laughing, then froze. That's terrible. Sorry. I shouldn't be laughing. No, it's funny now. But then, I wanted to retire from love and become a monk. We laughed until our bellies hurt. But under the laughter, something else was bubbling. That slow tension. The kind that simmers quietly until one look becomes a spark. When it was time to leave, he walked me to my car. Safe ride, he said, holding the door. Thanks. I had fun. Me too. I started the car. The engine came on, but I didn't drive off. He didn't step back either. We stared for a moment. I opened my mouth, then closed it. He leaned slightly toward the window. Not too close, just enough for the air to shift between us. "You okay?" he asked. I nodded, but I wasn't okay. I was distracted, off balance, warm, by a mechanic, a man who smelled of oil, soap, and something I couldn't name. "Good night," I whispered. He nodded. "See you soon." I drove off in silence, hands tight on the steering wheel. Why was my heart beating like I just jogged across third mainland? 2 days later, my car didn't misbehave, but I did. I texted him, "You free? I have a small issue." He replied fast. "Engine or emotional?" "Both." He called. "I'm at the workshop, but I can come by after 6. "Okay." That "okay" felt heavier than I meant it. At 6:20 p.m., he pulled into my estate in a black Corop van that had Kunle Motors stenciled on the side. "Nice ride," I teased. "Don't jealous. This boss has saved more marriages than couple therapy." We laughed. Again, inside, I offered him water. He declined soda. We sat on the couch, close but not touching, TV on, but we weren't watching. "I've been thinking," he said. "About you." Silence. Then he added, "This thing we're dancing around." I looked away. "We're from different lanes," I said. "Different lives. But same city, same heat, same search for peace." I wanted to deny it, but I couldn't. He was right. Somewhere in this chaotic city, we'd found a bubble, a soft spot, and Lagos never gave soft spots for free. His hand brushed mine. My breath hitched. He paused, looked at me. "I won't push," he said softly. "But if you lean, I'll be here." That night, we didn't kiss, but he held my hand, and I held his back. And that was enough, for now, because in Lagos, heat makes things boil fast. But the real ones simmer. That week passed like Lagos rain, unpredictable, wet in places I didn't expect, and noisy in my heart. Every morning, Kunle sent me a "good morning" text. Not the recycled kind, the thoughtful ones. "Remember to rest your eyes today. Soft life no day with tired eyelids. Smile small today. You fit spoil Lagos ratio of angry faces." And me, I found myself smiling at my phone more than my clients' brand briefs. My mechanic, touch specialist, contact name didn't even feel like a joke anymore. It was accurate. But Lagos, as usual, didn't like when peace stayed too long. Saturday morning, I had just stepped out of the shower, wrapped in my towel, when I saw a missed call from Kunle. And another one. Then a text. "I might need a favor." Something happened. My heart jumped. I dialed him. His voice was calm, but the kind of calm that comes after swallowing noise. "Babe, them bust my workshop." "What?" "Area boys came in last night, took tools, busted some cars. My main client's SUV, they wrecked it. Jesus, I'm trying to manage it, but it's bad." I didn't think twice. "Send me your location. I'm coming." "Wait. No, It's not. But I was already dressing. Lagos taught us all to show up when it matters. That's the real currency. I got there in 40 minutes. Workshop scattered. Kunle's boys standing around like mourners at a wake. His face was dusty, forehead cut slightly. Who did this? NAJJ and him boys. I refused to pay area fee this month. Kunle tried to laugh it off, but I saw his hands tremble. You don't need to be strong for me, I said. He finally exhaled, like someone who had been holding his breath since 2 a.m. I don't know how I'm going to pay this guy for his car repairs. I don't want wahala. You won't handle it alone, I said. He looked at me like I had just reset the generator of his soul. But, no but. If this thing between us is real, we share problems. Not just gist and suya. He nodded slowly. Okay, come. We walked to a corner, away from the crowd. He leaned on a wrecked bonnet. I stood in front of him. You really came, he said softly. I told you. I don't run from engine trouble. This time, he didn't just hold my hand. He pulled me in. Not rough. Not rushed. Just right. Like he'd been waiting for the moment the car finally aligned. The kiss was slow, warm, a bit salty from sweat and Lagos dust. But real. Afterwards, he held my face. Don't fall for a mechanic, he whispered. We fix too much, but sometimes, we don't know how to be fixed. I don't need you fixed, I replied. Just present. He smiled. That one, I can promise. 3 months later, we weren't perfect. Sometimes he was late. Sometimes I overthought texts. But we showed up. His workshop moved to a better spot in Ikeja. I helped him build a small website. Kunle Motors. Honest repairs. No stories. And every Sunday, he'd show up at my door with suya and stories from the week. We'd eat on the floor, laugh over cold zobo, and talk about the next big step. No labels yet, but my friends started noticing I wasn't on Hinge anymore. And when Uche asked, so, is he your man? I just smiled and said, he knows where to touch. And not just my car. In Lagos, where love is often louder than loyalty, sometimes, peace wears greasy overalls and smells like engine oil. And if you're lucky, your own soft life might just come, holding a spanner. Choose someone who checks your engine, before your ego. Follow @Sammie for more stories that fix your heart, not just your ride.